Well, how's it going, everyone? And welcome to another, yes, another opinion poll for Formula One from the Neurodivergent Ninja. Um, I don't expect to to do so many, but for such a boring race, there was a lot of talking points to come from Monaco. One being it being a boring race, which obviously we did a good piece on. And had our thoughts on how to improve it. But there was only two incidents that happened, and both of them ended up being talking points. Kevin Magnussen we've spoken about, but we haven't spoken about a certain Esteban Ocon. You see, Esteban Ocon also made a very daring move, which also um, ended his race. Very fortunate not to end anyone else's race. And, well, we wouldn't have thought anything of it if it weren't for the fact that a certain boss of his team Alpine um, decided to make a couple of interesting comments. Bruce Faman, the boss of is it assistant boss? I think it is of Alpine, said this: Esteban Ocon's attack was completely out of line. It wasn't what we wanted to see. That was the first part. Now, fair enough. Maybe saying that the driver's move was out of line, I can understand it. Saying it wasn't what you wanted to see, yeah, understandable. You lost a car out of it. But it's what he said next that made everyone go, huh? He said this: there will be consequences. We're going to have to make a tough decision. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, there's a lot of rumours that are abounding on social media. A lot of rumours abounding on social media that potentially Ocon could be benched for the Canadian Grand Prix next week. It almost feels like a certainty that he's going to lose his seat at the end of this season. We're only 8 races in, and it's already being spoken about. Now, we're going to touch on a couple of things. I think it's 3 things in total. Firstly, how likely is this going to happen? It's actually going to be 4 points, not 3. I just realised. So, how likely is it going to be to happen? Basically, whether I think it's a good decision, what they should be doing, where next for Ocon, and where next for Alpine in both circumstances. Whether it be just for the one race or at the end of the season. I'm going to start with my opinion first. Do I think that Ocon should be benched or dropped by Alpine? No. Yes, there are some things that are a little bit frustrating about him, which we will speak about next very soon. But he is a good driver. He was part of the Mercedes Academy, the very same academy that Russell's part of, and he has been in Formula One for, I think it's about 7 years, I think it is. Certainly a decent amount of time. He is almost a staple on the grid, and I feel like he has that opportunity to be a lead driver for a team. And yes, again, there's those teething problems, but he is a quick driver. He can get the most out of it, and he is a bit of a motivator. Brilliant stuff. Now, the thing is, that's what I think. And my opinion actually matters quite little here. But it's more about Alpine. What will they do this? Well, whether it's a smart decision or not, I can actually see them doing this. There's a few reasons why. Firstly, Alpine have been known to make some dumb decisions in the past. Think about it. Just think about this. Less than 12 months ago, they managed to lose two racing drivers from their staff. Was it 2 years ago? Sorry. Yeah, 2 years ago. Right? They managed to lose two racing drivers from their staff. Fernando Alonso, Aston Martin, been doing well. Oscar Piastri, McLaren, been doing really well. If they'd have kept even one of those drivers, look where they'd be right now. If they managed to work things out correctly, if they managed to work out the staffing correctly. Now, weirdly, the other reason is maybe this is the reason why Piastri and Alonso left. Maybe it had as much to do with the struggles with Ocon in terms of the racing side of it, as much as the situation when it came to contracts and things like that. Maybe he has caused division and caused upset upon drivers, and Alpine have gone, we can't do this anymore. Now, again, I don't think that's a good, wise move. I do think it should be one that it should be worked out. But unfortunately, the boss of Alpine's gone public, so now all the eyes are on them. Unfairly to a certain extent, but all the eyes are still on them. It is what it is. Now, that's how it is. I really hope that all my predictions I'm about to make from now on don't even have to be exercised, because I really want Esteban Ocon to stay at Alpine. But who would Alpine bring in if they were to bench Ocon? Let's push that one first. If they were to bench Ocon for the Canadian Grand Prix, put him on the naughty set, bring him back, yeah? Put him in the naughty corner. Well, Jack Doohan's being mentioned a lot. He is the reserve driver. He's not done anything special. It probably would be last. So I don't see that. Mick Schumacher. There's people that have said that he's a bit crash happy, and he was during his last race, but that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Certainly was a couple of years ago at least. And he's grown up since then. He's been under the Mercedes Academy umbrella. He's been part of that. And this could be his opportunity. Don't forget that Ocon was in a similar situation where he was in the Mercedes Academy and people weren't sure on him, and someone took a chance on him and it worked. Who knows? Maybe Mick Schumacher being brought in would be like the Nick de Vries moment for him, where it would, bring his stock back up. And I'd love to see it. I really would love to see Mick Schumacher get a second chance, because yes, he was crash happy, but he was crash happy in a very crash happy car. So yeah, maybe that. What about if they were to let go of him properly? What if they were to let go of Ocon properly, and at the end of the season, no more no more racing at the end of this season. Which drives do they go to? Well, again, Mick Schumacher and Jack Doohan immediately spring to mind. But there was another name that actually sprung to mind for me, and I can't work out why they wouldn't potentially give this a go. And I know this guy is in IndyCar, but I just wonder whether this could be the guy that they could try and sign for Alpine next season. And maybe, I don't know about the IndyCar and Formula 1, but maybe, how about Théo Pourchaire? He was brilliant. He won F2. He won F3. He is in IndyCar. He's been performing well in IndyCar. Yes, under the McLaren umbrella, but he's still been performing well in IndyCar. Maybe Alpine goes for him. Goes to that bright young spark. Someone who will view Gasly as the senior and the superior And well, yes, almost like sort of like a almost similar to the Williams scenario with Albon and Logan Sargent. Everyone knows who the number one driver is, and so Gasly will get the right treatment, but Porsche will appreciate the driver he gets. Maybe that's what it is on Alpine's side. Maybe. How about Ocon? Well, Ocon, I got a message for you, mate. There are opportunities available for you. I could see you in that Mercedes seat potentially, but you're gonna have to be careful, mate. As much as it is debatable as to how much involvement you had in the instance with Gasly, or the incidents with Perez when he was your teammate, or the incidents with Alonso when he was your teammate, or the incident with I think Verstappen in Brazil, right? These were um, things that you did get involved with, and it seems to be this bad reputation you gain. I love Ocon. I love the way he drives, but this aggressiveness towards teammates or towards doing unnecessary battles is damaging reputations here. Because Ocon, talent wise, should be in the top three teams. But Ocon, personality wise and risk wise, is potentially going to be going down. Potentially going to be going down to like a Williams. Maybe they do a swap. I don't know. But it just seems like everything has gone wrong. And if that is the case, if that is Ocon's nature, and maybe if he has this ability on him that he's not afraid to get his elbows out, even if it's with teammates, maybe NASCAR. Now, I don't know. It's a big, big jump to go from a single seater car to a saloon race. But if he could do it, NASCAR would be perfect for him because, like I say, he's not afraid to get his elbows out. He's not afraid to mess around. And maybe NASCAR is the way to go. This is one of those where, when it comes to Alpine, yeah, I know it's a brand that's been placed on the Renault team, but Alpine as a name is a historical sports, racing team. Not necessarily in Formula One, but definitely in the rally scene. Alpines were big back in the 40s and 50s, and I want them to have a happy ending out of this. Ocon is a brilliant driver, and I want him to have a happy ending out of this. Gasly, who's been affected by the crashes, I want him to have the happy ending where he gets a smooth racing team that works for him. This is one of those like really gutting scenarios where you know that a change is most likely needed, but you want to ensure that that change benefits all parties. Who knows what might happen in the future? Who knows where we're going with this? It's going to be very interesting to see the lineups to the Canadian Grand Prix to see what's happening. By the way, side point, these guys are racing drivers. When the visor's down, the red mist descends and they're driving, right? They make mistakes every now and again. Ocon's not the only one with penalty points, let's face it. But the social media abuse, it does have to stop. Massively. It's ridiculous. The fact that Ocon has to open up to say that he's had the abuse. Abuse for being a racing driver. Yes, okay, he might have broken a team rule, but he's being a racing driver. The drivers that we would have had back in the day. Could you imagine social media around the time when Senna and Prost were at their, when it was the heat of tension? Those 2 years in Japan? goodness me, the hate would have been on ridiculous levels. We're literally just talking about a little mess up in Monaco. Nothing major. Let's hope for the best for these guys, because we've got a bright spark in Formula One, we've got a strong team in Formula One, and we've got a solid driver in Formula One. All three of them deserve to be able to keep their Formula One careers going. That's my thoughts anyway. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please continue to like and subscribe, put a comment in and put a prediction in. Where are Alpine going to go next? Where is Ocon going to go next? What's going to happen? Take care and see you soon.